Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Creator Breakthrough. We're super lucky here to have Roberto with us. I will pass the floor over to him in just a second. Yeah, Roberto, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience?
So yeah, my name is Roberto Ricotta. Ricotta like the cheese. It's a typical Sicilian surname. I come from another island far away from here. I moved to Australia 3 years ago, and I'm currently working full time as a video producer, social media producer, and a content creator, telling my story online, but also helping other brands here in Australia telling their story using storytelling. So trying to like connect more with people.
So you just mentioned like helping brands here share their stories. What advice would you have for anyone who's beginning to go from that, say, narrative social content to more working with brands, getting their stories told?
I feel like authenticity, like people today, especially with the AI world, I feel like authenticity is the thing that like it makes us unique. It's not that easy. Like it doesn't mean that being authentic means just turning on your camera and just filming. We don't have to taking authenticity for laziness. That's not what it is. It takes a lot of time. You still need to sit there, write, even with a little help of ChatGPT. Like I do all my videos, ChatGPT helps me a lot with like structuring all the ideas that I have in my head. But yeah, I feel like the key to build relationships with brands, but with anyone really online, is authenticity. You need to have the guts to highlight some of the parts of your story. It's not that easy. You need to be a little bit vulnerable about it. So far, I've been making videos for 16 years. Now, I'm pretty new to Australia, but I always been doing this online. And what I always noticed is that when I'm like more open about my stories and I can share more the authentic stuff of my stories, I feel like that's when the results are coming, like when you're really authentic.
You've touched on a couple of really interesting points there, and I've got a two-part question for you. You've mentioned that you use AI in your work. Could you run through that current process with us and then sort of, expand on where you see that, evolving and taking over? And I suppose my final question around that would be AI. Is it positive or is it a negative for creators?
Oh, super positive. I'm so excited about AI. Of course, like everyone, when something new approaches, like as human beings, we are a little bit scared. It's like when, everyone was going around with horses and then the car arrived. Like, of course, some people freak out about it, but the smart people are capable to take advantage of this invention. And I feel like AI, especially for creators, it's such an important discovery. It's like a superpower. We just unlocked a superpower. I'm really excited about it because it's actually making my workflow super fast. When I talk about workflow, people think about editing, filming videos, but actually the thing that I'm taking the most results is writing. Like, not that AI writes videos for me. That's not what happened. I wish, like, we're getting there. But like I always have a bunch of ideas, and my difficulties in the past was trying to set a time and sticking around that time, like not taking 4 days to write just one YouTube video. Today, in just one session, I'm able to write multiple videos. And so, what basically I do, my workflow is pretty simple. I have my notes from my iPhone where I have all the list of my ideas. I vomit all my ideas there, and then whenever I have a goal, I go to ChatGPT and I say, okay, ChatGPT, this is my goal. This is what I want to do. You know so much about me. Like ChatGPT knows me better than my mom. Like knows everything. It's crazy. Knows my tone of voice. Like I don't know if I'm gonna regret this in 10 years, probably. But like right now, I'm totally okay with it. And so I say, ChatGPT, this is my goal. This is my idea. Give me 3 to 10 possible like scripts in the way that ChatGPT tells me what it thinks about my ideas and how like it scripts everything. It gives me more idea. Like in my brain, there's like kind of like a sparkle thanks to ChatGPT. Meanwhile, in the past, I used to maybe do a little bit of masterminds with other creators, but other creators are always like, okay, I tell you this tip because I make videos in this way. Meanwhile, ChatGPT is such a like a large language model that like it gives you like 20 million perspectives from 20 million other creators. So I feel like, yeah, it's a really good boost for your creativity.
AI is almost like your collaborator. They've replaced that sort of mastermind group. It comes in, helps extract your ideas and build upon it. Do you see AI coming into other parts of your workflow? Like, do you see it impacting production, post-production, distribution, things like that?
Yeah, I've been editing videos for ages, like 16 years, like a lot. I was a kid when I first started, and for sure, way before AI became like so super popular, already in the video editing platforms, I was used to use a lot of AI, like AutoCut. All these little things that help you a little bit, and I'm currently using lots. I use Adobe Premiere, so yeah, of course I see this in my production, so in the editing and filming as well. I don't know when it's gonna happen that I don't have to do anything else, because I feel like there is some sort of like sense when you're editing a video and when you're trying to give a rhythm to the storytelling. I feel like you need to feel a little bit of emotion as you're doing it. It's creativity, of course. And I feel like the video editing is the final part where like you really give the soul to the storytelling, and I feel like AI is not there yet. It's really far away from that. But for really easy videos, simple videos, I feel like we are already there. AI in the editing aspect is a huge support, but I'm still like, I still need someone else, like another human to help me editing, because it's not there yet. I study a lot about AI, and I don't know if at some point AI is gonna have feelings. Probably we're gonna get there.
You just said something really interesting there in terms of like, easier videos, but you're focused on the storytelling, the emotion. The AI isn't there. From the sound of it, it sounds like you think that actually will be bridged by AI, and that you can go in there and be like, look, we need to, and you'll be able to start explaining emotive action. Do you think that's just a function of cinema and storytelling having a language, or is that more about AI getting advanced?
I feel like both. Like I feel like at some point we're gonna get there, because already we are far away from first starting point. Like when first ChatGPT was released, it was unthinkable. This me too. Like when it first was released, I was playing a little bit with it, but I was like, nah. This is not useful. In 6 months, everything changed. So I believe that we're gonna get to the point where probably it's gonna be so good that you only need to tickle a little bit a few things, and then like you're done. And it's good. As much as it's scary for like just video editors, for example, the reality is that like it's a super powerful tool, because it gives us the chance of having more time to do more of this stuff, or maybe to playing a little bit with different genres. I feel like it's good for creators, but realistically with the video editing, I don't know how it's gonna look like this emotion feeling, like how AI could support that. Probably it's gonna happen. I cannot imagine the solution, like how it's gonna look like.
You actually again touched on something really interesting there in terms of like you just mentioned robotics. Is there another area of technology that actually excites you as a filmmaker? I mean, if you've been doing this for 16 years, you and I have both been on that journey where it was like, I can record, and now I've got, the cloud was a huge invention for us. I'm interested to see if there's anything else that excites you.
I recently purchased a gimbal that has AI integrated, and if you do like this, the camera follows you. It's actually here. Super cheap, $200. You just put it on your table on a tripod, and this is a little camera that has a sensor, and basically depends on how you do your gestures. So it could be like if you give it a 5, it follows your face, and so this one actually turns a little bit.
Is
You
that
don't
for
need,
phone?
yeah, for the phone.
I might need to get myself one of those. That looks awesome.
Yeah, it's very nice, and it's really exciting. Still, we are far away from perfection. So usually, what I do is I bring this on set. As I'm filming for clients, I like to have some backstage videos, but not just a static tripod shot. When I edit the video, like after a couple of weeks, and I forgot how I did the setup that day, I'm like watching the footage. I'm like, who was with me that day? Like, did I bring someone else on set that I don't remember? Because it's just like a really cool pan. Like, it's not a crazy shot, but
Yes,
still something that human hands usually do. This is really exciting, because if today for $200 you got this, imagine like in 10 years, like it's gonna be crazy.
for sure, for sure. Could you, you've just touched on something really interesting there that you like to get the behind the scenes stuff. Could you run our audience through what it looks like? Let's say you're on set for the day. Run us through your prep, the time there, what you like to capture, and then probably also your post wrap up.
So the most important thing is the preparation, like how much you prepare before a shoot, it makes the difference. I always leave a little bit of room for improvisation because it's a creative job, so you still need to be able to switch a little bit, or if you have an idea on set, you still need to be able to kind of like change it on the way. Basically, I just write down a series of locations, props, and then all the shot list that I need to do based on the script that I've pre-written with ChatGPT. So I put the scripts on my notes, I do the entire list, and then I just bring it with me on like in my pocket. I arrive, first thing that I do, depends if it's a shot for me or for a client. First thing that I do, human interaction. So, hey, how are you? Like I try to do a little bit of rapport, so that the person that I'm filming with, or even just myself, feels more relaxed, because when you film videos, you really need to be present.
Yes.
So first thing, creating like kind of like a connection with the person that I'm filming, and then I go over the list. The shot list is being made in a way that it makes sense. For example, if we're starting from location X,
Yeah.
okay, we do all the shots on that location, even if in the storyline, like maybe starts in that location that continues on another one, but we always focus on doing everything in one location, then we change it to the other location. This is for more complex videos. Sometimes some of the videos, they are all be filmed in just one location, so all good. So I go over the shots, I film everything, and I always make sure that I double check my script. Like the script is the most important thing.
Okay.
I feel like without script, you go crazy and you actually lose a lot of time also in the editing, because you start filming stuff that you don't need. So I film everything, then I make sure everything makes sense. I go over the footage. If I film with the iPhone, I quickly watch everything. I double check that everything makes sense, and then the rest is for the editing. That's another chapter.
Look, it sounds amazing. It sounds busy, but it sounds very thorough. And as you said, the prep is where all the love needs to be to make sure it's a smooth shoot. Final two questions for you. This has been fantastic. What's the future look like for you? Like where, that 5-year timeline, where does this creative journey take you? What do you want to achieve?
So I'm currently doing kind of like a rebranding, because until 5 months ago, I used to make videos only in Italian, even from Australia. Like I moved to Australia 3 years ago, but I still kept making videos in Italian because I already had an audience from there, like more than 100,000 people across platforms. So I felt like the need to keep doing what I was doing for my audience. And it was fine at the beginning because, of course, it gave me some sort of stability despite the fact that I moved on the other side of the world.
Sure.
But then slowly became the thing that it kept me kind of like in a weird feeling, because I was like, okay, I live in Australia, but my mind and my work is still back in Italy. And so the need to connect, I'm really passionate about storytelling. I love to connect with people, and that's why also we're here. I love to do all these things like talking, meeting, and
Sure.
stuff. And what I need, I feel like it's doing what I used to do back in Italy here. So now what I'm doing is, despite the fact that I have lots of clients, lots of Italians that live in Australia, they work with me. But now I'm like, okay, I also want to connect with other people, because the beauty of Australia is they're a super international country.
Yeah.
Compared to Italy, there is a little bit more vintage, old school. Like you got the Italians. Maybe if you go to Milan, you get a little bit of international people, but still most of people are Italian. Here, everyone is from everywhere. So
Yeah.
I feel like I wanna use this as a motivation to just switch to English. So basically, what I'm doing now, 5 months ago, I started making videos in English on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram, everywhere. And my goal is now to start working with big brands, big Australian brands. What I love about Australians is their work-life balance, but also they are really creative in the way they work.
Yes.
It's kind of like very different from Europe, the vibe. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. So you need to get used to it.
Sure.
Couple of times that I worked with Australians, I always loved the freedom that I had. And so now what I want to do is I want to use my storytelling power that I already achieved so many results with my clients here in Sydney. And I want to help really establish Australian brands. And I want to also connect with lots of other creators as well. So I'm basically doing what I used to do back in Italy, always telling my life as a video maker, sharing my ideas, how I come up with crazy videos. Now I'm just doing doing this now, and I'm slowly building an Australian audience. It's tough because it's harder than starting from scratch.
Really?
Yeah, if you do rebranding, it's kind of like the algorithm sees that your current audience doesn't interact with your videos as much as I used to do in the past. It's a longer journey. Like I feel like it's gonna take me a couple of years to reach the same amount like of level that I used to have in Italy. But it's like an investment that I'm willing to do. I decided to do this because luckily my business here in Sydney is pretty stable. A couple of years ago I couldn't do it. Like I needed to do all the sponsorships that I used to do back with the Italian brands. Now I said no to all of those partnerships, which is a choice, but I need
A big
time.
one for sure.
Yeah, it's a big jump.
But look, that's amazing. And for our Australian audience, where can we find you? What should we be looking for your socials?
It's Roberto Ricotta. I'm everywhere. Like I'm really everywhere. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. That's where you can find me. I'm filming the backstage of all these videos that I'm making. I recently made some videos, some spec works for Gelato Messina. Even the Prime Minister of Australia, I did like some sort of I'm crazy. Sometimes I watch stuff. I go on the profiles of these famous people, and I'm like, oh no, this video is not good. So how would I make the video if I was Anthony Albanese, social media manager? And so I created kind of like a storytelling where I was sponsoring one of his messages. Now I'm totally new. I cannot vote yet here in Australia, so
Sure.
this wasn't a political message. It was kind of like a funny sketch. But yeah, I did another one with Who Gives a Crap, the toilet paper brand. I created a spec work for that, and now I'm doing Rode microphones. I
Nice.
found out they're Australians. I
Yes.
didn't know that. And so yeah, I'm doing spec works. So far my format is this: analyzing big Australian brands and creating videos for them without them even knowing about it, on the side of my work here as a Sydney content creator. I'm doing this as a passion project. Like I'm doing it when I have free time. So once a month I sit there and I write some things. It's tough to do it because of course it's a passion project. So
Of
I need to
course.
do it whenever I'm not filming for clients. But it's so fun. I love the Australian market. Like there's so many things.
Sounds amazing. Look, thank you for sharing that with our audience. And this has been an absolute pleasure. Let's get the Australian market going. No, look, I completely agree. And I love the energy and I love the vibe. And thank you ever so much for joining us today. Hopefully we can get JubJub to be one of your clients sometime soon.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Tom.